Welcome to Retirement with Jim. So today, the topic is an article I read, 10 expenses that sneak up on you in retirement. This article was put out by AARP. So before we get started, if you like my content, please hit the like and subscribe button, hit the bell notification to get further videos, and feel free to leave me comments. Love to hear from you. So, okay, let's get started. So the article was about 10 items that sneak up on you in retirement in terms of expenses. And the very first one was healthcare and wellness. Now, healthcare and wellness, very important factor because the cost of healthcare is tremendously high. So one of the ways that sneaks up on you is kind of when you get around the age of 65 and older, especially 65, thereabouts, you start to have health issues. And from that point on, you can expect to spend, AARP says, about $165,000 over the rest of your lifetime in healthcare needs. Quite a bit of money. And especially if it's, you're not quite prepared for it. The healthcare costs on average are rising 3.7% a year. Faster than, the COLA, faster than, inflation. So they're well ahead of inflation. Excuse me. So that's number one. Number two, home maintenance. Home maintenance, once you reach a retirement age, there's lots of things that you do around the house, and lots of things that will need maintenance and things that have to be fixed, and how that kind of as an expense creeps up over on you is that, for instance, there's many things that you just can't do anymore. Climbing up and down a ladder, not necessarily so easy to do. So you end up starting to pay others to do those things that maybe you did on your own. So it's certainly something to consider that, that there's cost involved in that you may not have anticipated. You always think to yourself, especially if you've been handy around the house, yeah, I can fix that. I can take care of that. And it may surprise you when you suddenly go, I can't do that task. And you're like, oh, I'm going to have to pay someone. And sometimes you just say, I'd rather pay someone and just not have to deal with it myself. But either way, it becomes an expense that you may not have been thinking about. Number three, home and auto insurance. Now their insurance has been going up on average in the last few years, 20%. It is far outpacing, inflation. And they don't have any reason, to give other than, well, we had this, in regards to home, we have this disaster, that natural disaster, and there's all kinds of things that, and what it comes down to is they're having a harder time maintaining their profit level for their investors. What used to be seen as, a golden egg there of an investment has become far, far more challenging with climate change. Whether you agree with climate change or not, the world is changing. Along with that, home and auto. My wife and I, we ended up spending $200 more in home insurance, and we don't have a claim. We have nothing. It just simply went up $200. When asked, when I went into the office, they just said, well, that's just the overall cost that's going up for everyone. So whether you're good and have no claims, whether it's auto or home, you can expect to pay for more for that same coverage, simply because they're protecting the profits, plain and simple. Number four, travel. Now, travel is, a lot of times people plan for travel when it comes to retirement, but is that travel um, just for you and your wife, your spouse, or your husband, or do you include the whole family? You bring your kids along, maybe your grandchildren along. Are you the guy or gal or footing the bill on that? Something to think about because suddenly those trips can cost you a lot of money as travel expenses have, of course, risen over the years. Something to think about. Number 5 is transportation. Pardon me, I'm looking at my notes down here, maybe I'll skip nothing. So transportation is an expense. You've got gas and maintenance and upkeep, but in your later years, it becomes, are you still able to drive? Are you having to maybe rely on others? You're giving up the keys. I can tell you, I may dread the day that I have to give up the keys. To me, that is just a form of independence that I have loved since I was able to get and drive my first car. So I never really even think about or had thought about that there may come a day when I can't drive anymore. And you got to be more realistic. How is your driving? Are you as sharp as you used to be? Are you good at driving? Are you good at reacting at the same time and speed of stuff? So it's something that you got to give thought to once you get older. Are you able to maintain driving your car, or are you now going to have to rely on Uber and other forms of transportation, public transportation, taxis, buses, other people in your family, helping you get around. Just a thought. Next thing up on the list is utilities. Now, utilities on average, for instance, the electric bill, on the average electric bill for 2024 was $144 and I think 10 cents for the average. So, the cost of utilities, your gas, your electric, your water, they all steadily, increase. You never get a bill that suddenly goes down. So it's something to keep in mind that just like anything else, those utilities are going to rise, over time. So next thing, this one's got a little bit of controversy in it. Kids and grandchildren. So are you still paying for things, for your children? You haven't necessarily cut the cord. You're helping them out. How much money are you spending in retirement that you're spending on your children as opposed to you spending it and enjoying it what you want to do? Grandchildren, for instance. You give the grandchild a big gift, and next thing they might be the first one, and you kind of want to spend a little bit lavishly on them, and show your love that way, without the thought of, well, what happens when the next grandchild comes? Are you going to be able to maintain that level of spending, and or should you? So it brings the really kind of the statement that some people don't like, and that is maybe what you should do is spend time with your grandchildren, not money. Food for thought. Number 8, taxes. Taxes are inevitable. They are just something that is going to, forever be there. So your property taxes, do you have to pay, taxes on your income, on your 401k, your Roth, you might have paid your taxes up front, so you don't have anything on that. But traditional IRAs, 401s, and just how much money you are spending and earning there kind of begs the question, are you prepared for taxes? And so there's where a lot of us need help in going, especially in retirement. How do we mitigate taxes as best we can to minimize them? You're never going to get rid of them, but can you minimize them to at least some degree? Next thing up on the list is moving. So a lot of people, once they retire, think about, okay, I want to move to a normal climate, a warmer climate, excuse me. I moved long before retirement, gave thought to, I want to live where it's warmer. And when I was 45, my wife and I, we packed up and sold the house and moved to the Phoenix area, and loved the warmer temperatures. No regrets at all. But it's a costly endeavor. I moved from Chicago to the Phoenix area, and we did it all ourselves. Family helped, load up the truck, and we got to the other end. It was us and the kids, and we just found a way to make it work. And but the cost is quite substantial now. In 2024, the average cost of moving across the country is just under $10,000. So anything over 100 miles is got an average of $9,100. Anything under is right around 7,000, which that one really surprised me. Under 7,000 for less than 100. Wow. Now that's taking into account someone moving you, and you're not having to pick up and load or unload anything. But it's quite expensive, and there certainly are headaches that go with that. And the last one, number 10, is staying connected. Now, and that is all your tech services, your phone, your internet, your computers, all of the subscriptions and things that you have. So my wife and I took a look at that at one point, a ways back, and we were spending almost $500 a month in between phone, internet, and we kind of said, whoa, we've really not been paying attention to this, and this is costing us way too much money. So we went for looking for a new phone server, a new phone provider, a new internet provider, and we were able to reduce that cost tremendously, getting it down to just under $200 a month for the internet, the phone, all of it. And so it's something to think about, because there is a cost that can absolutely creep up on you, and you never even realize it. So those are certainly the top 10 that AARP, as I said, has in their survey. So take a look. Tell me what you think. Tell me ones you agree with, you don't agree with, and I think that it's kind of food for thought. So with that, I'm going to tell you, have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.